The International Court of Justice, whose website is at www.icj-cij.org, is the primary judicial organ of the United Nations. Established in 1945, it has two roles: settling legal disputes between member states and giving advisory opinions on legal issues referred to it by the UN or one of its agencies. The International Court of Justice is essentially a civil court. That is, it does not have the jurisdiction to try criminal cases. If you are interested in researching cases involving war crimes or crimes against humanity, you should look instead at national courts, ad hoc UN tribunals set up in response to specific events such as the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda or the International Criminal Court. Similarly, there are a number of other international courts that focus primarily on human rights issues, such as the European Court of Human Rights. For more information on the International Court of Justice's jurisdiction, please see the Frequently Asked Questions section under Practical Information. Look at the tab on the left-hand side of the page, as well as under the Court tab, the section titled How the Court Works. To search for cases on the court's website, use the options under Cases on the left-hand side of the page. You can see a list of all cases, or you can sort by type, by contentious cases or by advisory proceedings. It's better to already know what case you're looking for rather than searching for cases by keyword. Entering keywords into the search box at the top of the left-hand side of the page searches the entire website, not just cases. The list of cases, on the other hand, is very easy to browse through manually, as it's not very long, and you can sort these by date, or if you're in the list of just the contentious cases, that is, those cases that are disputes between two member states, you can also sort by country. The International Court of Justice is primarily concerned with civil disputes between two member states. If you are interested in criminal law issues, as I previously mentioned, the examples of crimes against humanity or war crimes, you want to take a look at one of the specialized international criminal law court systems that have been set up. One main example is the International Criminal Court, whose website can be found at www.icc.cpi.int. The International Criminal Court's website gives you quick access to all of its cases and investigations, both past and present, as well as a number of other useful bits of information about how the court works, who the state's parties are that agree to the jurisdiction of the court, and a number of resources for various types of researchers. If we're interested in investigations and cases, we can see the status of a number of different cases, preliminary examinations, and situations that are under investigation. For example, the investigation currently undergoing in Uganda. This situation is a conflict between the Lord's Resistance Army and the Ugandan government. So we get a lot of background information on that and a lot of other information and related documents. If you are interested in looking at cases more generally, you have to choose between pretrial, trial, appeals, reparations, closed, or revision. If we look at trial, for example, we'll get an overview of what happens at trial and then a list of cases that are both in preparation as well as the ongoing cases. If you're interested in one of these, you can click on the case and it will take you to all the related documents as well as what the next steps are, videos if they are available, and so on. Finally, as I previously mentioned, there are a number of international human rights tribunals that may be of interest. One such example is the European Court of Human Rights. available at www.echr.coe.int. In addition to a plethora of reports, publications, and other documents of interest, the ECHR maintains a searchable database of all of its cases, as well as many of its legal opinions and publications called HUDOC. Look under Case Law, and then choose the HUDOC database. Using the search box near the top right of the screen, search using keywords or names of parties. There's also an extensive list of filters on the left that helps you further refine your search. So for example, if I wanted to find cases that discussed migrants, I could type migrants in as my keyword, hit search, and I see I have 269 results. Now, if I'm only interested in cases where the UK was listed as a party, I could look at the filters on the left, see that there's one called State, hit More, and then choose the United Kingdom off this list. Once I've chosen the United Kingdom, you'll see I only have 16 results, which is a much more manageable list. These are obviously just 3 of the more common places that you might look to find case law out of international tribunals. To recap, if you're looking for international case law, there's a couple of questions and a couple of places you can generally take a look. The first question you should ask is, do you know which cases you are looking for? You should ideally already have a short list of cases before you start looking at case law databases. If you don't have a list of cases already, I would recommend that instead of jumping straight into case law research, you look through secondary sources, journal articles, books that talk about your subject, government reports, that sort of thing. If you have some good secondary sources, they will give you a list of cases that are key to your area. If you have a list of cases, then you want to check, are they foreign cases or from an international tribunal? We didn't really talk about foreign case law in this tutorial, but if you do have foreign cases, so from the UK or the United States, for example, you can look at websites that are similar to CANLI, things like Bailey, the British and Irish Legal Information Institute, or the Legal Information Institute, which is out of the US directly, and they usually have access to many of the cases there. If you have an international case, so a case from an international tribunal like the International Court of Justice or the International Criminal Court, usually your best bet is to go to the tribunal's website first. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. My name again is Julie Levine. I'm the Legal Studies Librarian here at Carleton University, and you can contact me about any international legal research questions or any legal research questions more generally at julie.levine@carleton.ca. Thanks for watching.